Hello everyone, welcome back to Elite Academy. As you all of you know that prelims are approaching near and we have exams in June and hardly 50 days are remaining. So keeping this in mind, we are starting a series where we will be taking up important topics, and those important topics will be from the questions which UPSC has been asking in other exams like CDS, NDA. So what we have observed is that UPSC has been taking a theme every year and they are asking questions around those themes in different exams. Sometimes they focus on factual information, sometimes they are focusing on conceptual information. So depending upon the exam, the level of difficulty or the factual nature or the conceptual nature is changing. So what we are going to do in this video, in this series, that we will take those topics, those questions, and we will discuss it holistically so that you don't miss out any important information around that topic, and it will help you in quick revision, and thus this series will help you a lot for this prelims 2022. Now let's take the first topic of the day, which is the first question. It is India's territorial limit extends towards the sea up to. So this is the question. If you would have read NCRTs, then easily you can mark the answer. The first option is A, 10 nautical miles. Second is B, 12 nautical miles. C, 14 nautical miles. D, 15 nautical miles. So what is the answer? If you have read even the first chapter of class 11 about India's size, limits, extents, then you can easily mark the answer, that is 12 nautical miles. This is a very simple question. 1 nautical mile is equal to 1.8 kilometer. This information you should have. Now, why are we discussing this important and this question, this easy question? Because it is important to understand the information around it for CSE examination. Now, there is a body named UN Clause, that is United Nations Convention on Law of the Sea. So what this body is responsible for, so this convention came in 1982. So this body demarcates the maritime boundaries, and they have demarcated it into 5 zones. So this is a baseline. From baseline, inside it we have inland waters, then we have territorial sea, contiguous zone, then we have exclusive economic zone and high seas. So these are the 5 maritime zones for offshore governance. And not only that, we have also our Indian legislation, which is India's Maritime Zone Act 1976, which also recognizes it, and they have also demarcated the boundaries, and we have clearly mentioned under that act what is allowed, what is not allowed, and who will control, what are the roles and responsibilities. Also, we have our Article 297 in Indian Constitution, which clearly mentions that the territorial water will change according to the international convention or international laws. So these are the things related to international convention, legislation, and our article. Now let's have a look at the different zones, what activities are allowed, what activities are not allowed. So first let's discuss about territorial water. So if in territorial water, the country will have exclusive sovereignty over let's understand it with the vertical division. So airspace, then comes on terrestrial level we have ports and bays, then comes the subsoil, and next comes the seabed. So vertically the country will have exclusive sovereignty over these spaces. Next, just imagine if we have Sri Lanka as our neighbor, Pakistan as our neighbor, Bangladesh as a neighbor, we have problem of Sir Creek, we have problem of Rameshwaram sharing lands with the territorial water of Sri Lanka. Then how do we decide? That time the territorial water will be not up to 12 nautical miles. Then how do we decide that 12 nautical miles? So in case of that, we delimit the territorial boundaries by taking a median line from the base lines of both the countries, and that median line will demarcate it. So maybe that will be not up to 12 nautical miles. It can be 8 nautical miles or 12 nautical miles, 10 nautical miles. Now, you must have come across this right, that is right to innocent passage is allowed in territorial water. As the name itself is conveying, innocent passage means that anything which is for peaceful purposes, that is allowed. Now take two scenarios. If the problem is going on in Sri Lanka and we are sending our warships, so whether that is allowed it or not, it is allowed. Why? Because it is a distress situation and we are offering help for peaceful to maintain peace. So in that case, that warship is allowed. But if we are going to willfully pollute the territorial water of Sri Lanka, then that is not allowed. That's what happens with our fishermen. They will cross the boundaries and they will go they will intrude in the territorial waters of Sri Lanka. That's why they get arrested. So always remember what is allowed and what is not allowed. You can reach to the conclusion by using your common sense, right? Now let's discuss about exclusive economic zone. As the name itself is telling, economic zone. So whatever economic resources, be it mining, oil exploration, fishing, mineral reserves, the country, let's say India, will have exclusive control over the economic resources up to 200 nautical miles, right? And they are not only going to exploit it, but also they have to protect and preserve the marine resources and the natural environment in marine waters. So they have to take care of it. Exclusive economic zone is about this. Now we have continental shelf. However, you must be wondering that in those five zones we have not studied about continental shelf. But continental shelf is important because every country, when from their mainland, they have certain rights over the continental shelf. So those rights extends up to 350 nautical miles, right? And the country will have exclusive rights over exploitation of resources. At the same time, they have to authorize and regulate over drilling activities over the continental shelf. So, for example, if you see from on the eastern coast, so Krishna Godavari Basin, we are exploiting the natural gas reserves on Krishna Godavari Basin, which is on a continental shelf, or Bombay High on western side. It is on a continental shelf. So, continental shelf becomes very important as a part of the country because it gives us a lot of resources, be it oil, natural gas, or fishing. You take any economic activity or economic resource, it becomes very important. The fifth zone was high seas. High seas, at the name says that it is open for all. It is open for all the activities. It is open for navigation, scientific research, for flight, for fishing, even for construction of artificial islands. It was open for countries started dumping their nuclear waste in the high seas. But however, we have come to a conclusion that okay, we should discuss, deliberate, think, and thus regulate certain activity. So for a specific purpose, slave trade or piracy or illicit trafficking, we have convention and we regulate. And such activities of dumping the nuclear waste or polluting the high seas, we have conventions with respect to that as well. We control such things by discussing and coming together. Okay. Now we have the second topic. The second topic is through question. The question is which one of the following is a cold current? The question is very specific. They are asking about cold current. Now they have given us four options: A. Brazilian current, B. Gulf Stream, C. North Equatorial current, and D. Californian current. So the answer is D. Californian current. If you would have read NCRTs and if you have practiced Atlas, the location, the physical features and the political features, if you have practiced in Atlas, you can easily mark this answer. And even if you don't know near equator, we will have warm current, so that you can eliminate. Gulf Stream, we know when we read about warm currents, that also you can eliminate. Brazil is in tropical margins, tropical latitude, so that also you can eliminate. Let's dig it deeper that how, taking the help of this question, what all information we should know. Now, while digging deeper, we should know about the major currents. Okay, so the major currents, as you can see on the screen, we have cold currents. So this is the list of cold currents, and the cold currents, you can see there are 8 cold currents, and the list of warm currents, it is huge. Around 22 currents are come under the warm current. So what we should know, if you remember only cold currents, then you can easily eliminate the answers. Your effort will be reduced. You remember only cold current, there is no need to remember the warm currents at all because the list is less. Now coming to, if you can analyze the map, then you take the continents, North America as a continent, then South America as a continent, Africa as a continent, Australia and basically Oceania as an island, the island nations as a continent. If you analyze them, then you will find all the cold currents, you will find them on the western coast. So you take the example of California current, you take the example of Humboldt or Peru current or Labrador current here. So Labrador current in higher latitude, that if you don't analyze it from that point of view that it is on eastern side, because that is coming in the higher latitude. In tropical and subtropical latitude, you will find the major cold currents on the western margin, and you will find the warm currents on the eastern margin. So in the option of the question which we read on the previous slide, Brazilian current. So Brazil, here is the Brazilian current. So Brazilian current is on the eastern margin. Gulf Stream is here, so it is also on the eastern margin. So this is a concept you have to remember of west and eastern margin. You have to remember only cold currents and you can eliminate. Now sometimes it will happen, there will be certain unusual currents. For example, if you analyze this Alaska current. Alaska current, as the name signifies, or the latitude, we might get trapped that it is a cold current. But against its location or latitude, you will be surprised to know that it is a warm current. So Alaska current is there. Or if you analyze it here, the North Atlantic drift or Norwegian current, it is also a warm current. So it plays very important role in economy or climate weather conditions in the Nordic countries. Okay. Also, sometimes UPSC has this habit of asking the different names of the currents. For example, this Japan current. In Atlas or in NCRTs, we read this current as Kuroshio current. It is also known as Japan current. It is also known as black current, or for that matter, this current. Number 8. It is known as Oyashio current. It is known as Kurile current, or for that spelling is Okhotsk current. Okhotsk. So UPSC has habit of asking this, that okay, where we find match the following, this current which coast or which continent. So there, don't get trapped and be very alert that if you know the cold currents, you can easily eliminate the options. Now let's see the other areas. Now another important information which we all should remember using this ocean currents, what all we should revise is that cold currents we have read, and the question was around cold currents only. Now if you see this slide, in the map you will find California current, you will find the Peru current, then we have Canary current and Venezuela current. Also we have another cold current, that is West Australian current, here we will find. Important information is that wherever cold current is there on the western margin of the continents, on the land side, on land you will find deserts. So here against California current you will find Sonarian desert, then we have Atacama desert, Western Sahara desert on the northwestern part of the Africa continent. Venezuela current we have Namib desert. So this pair of cold current and desert, sometimes UPSC has been asking this in match the following. Okay, this is a cold current, which desert it can be associated with. So remember this slide, it will help you. Now you must be wondering conceptual level, however it is explained in NCRT, that why the deserts have been associated with the cold currents. Because of the cold currents, the air mass there, the air will be cool and the moisture holding capacity of the air will be less, so relative humidity will be less, thus cloud formation will not happen. The air mass from sea, when it reaches the land, rainfall will not happen, because much before that the air mass will shed whatever moisture they have captured. So this way these air mass will be not be able to form rain bearing cloud, or they will be not having moisture holding capacity. That's why we have cold deserts formed in the cold current zone, cold current area. So this is one information related to climate. Next, other information which we should know is with respect to the economy. With respect to economic importance of these currents, you should know that first is, let's say, Peru current. Peru current, the cold current, they bring the nutrition from the sea below, and they bring fishes or other nutrients on the surface. On the surface, when these nutrients will be brought, there are birds like guano birds. These guano birds will eat those fishes or they will take the nutrition, and their droppings on the land in Chile and Peru, their droppings are being used by the fertilizer industry for making fertilizers. So it has an economic significance. In El Nino and La Nina years, that economic significance gets disturbed also. So this is one economic impact. Also, here we read about Kuroshio and Oyashio. So these areas where the warm current and cold currents are meeting, they become the world's best fishing grounds. So that is another economic importance. Here we read that how North Atlantic drift or the Norwegian current reaching in the higher latitude, it goes above the Nordic countries. So there it has another economic importance, that it will keep the ports open throughout the year. So the economic activity through ports will be throughout year, it will be active, because the nature of North Atlantic drift is warm in nature. So it will not allow the water, in the Arctic Circle or Arctic Sea, the water will not freeze. So that way it will keep the ports open. So whenever you are reading these cold currents or warm currents, remember limited things so that you can eliminate the answers, you can reach the right answer, and be very smart to use the common sense, because common sense is the most important asset in UPSC exam, or for that matter in your anywhere in your life. So remember to use common sense to reach the right answer. Now we have this third topic, which is related to the soils, types of soil found in India. And this question, let me read out the question. The question is, identify the type of soil on the basis of given characteristics. Be very careful. The first option is, they are rich in lime, iron, magnesia, and aluminium. You may remember or you may not remember. Second option is, they are generally clay and deep, impermeable. This you should be able to relate. Third is, they are mainly found in Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat. Now you know your answer, right? So if you know one or two properties, if you are familiar with general understanding, if you have about the states, then easily you can reach the answer, and the answer is D, black soil. Laterite soil, we know it is found on the slopy regions, Western Ghat or Eastern Ghats, you will find them. Red and yellow soil, we know that it will be found on the tablelands, like Mysore and Bangalore, tableland is there. Plateau areas you will find. Saline soil in the desert areas you find. So even if you know certain properties, you can reach the answer. Okay, with respect to properties, we should know that black soil, like we know clay, sticky, and cracks will be found when there is a rain deficit or water deficit is there. We know that laterite soil, Sial floats over Sima. So the crust is made up of silica and aluminium. So because of the slopy nature, they are found on the slope. The laterite soils, the silica will be leached out. So they are rich in aluminium, they are low in silica, because organic matter will be leached out. So this you should know. Black soil, we discussed the properties. Northeastern areas, northeastern states, you must have come across this information about insectivorous plants or carnivorous plants like Venus flytrap. So these plants, they feed, they trap the insects, they feed on the insects. Why? The UPSC has asked this question in various exams, that what kind of nutrients they take from those insects and why they do so, because the soil profile is not developed in those hilly areas or the plateaus. The Meghalaya plateau is there, so the soil profile is not developed. So by trapping that insect, they are trying to take nitrogen from them, N component of the soil. So this way you have to apply the concepts by linking the soil profile and the properties, and you have to remember that. If you remember that particular component, you can eliminate the answers and you can reach the answer. Let's dig it deeper. Now, major soil types in India we should know. Then only we can either eliminate the option or we will know the answers, right? So on this map you will find the major soil types. So alluvial soil is there. So this is mountain soil, forest and mountain soil. Then we have alluvial soil, we have black soil, and red and yellow soil. These pink color is your laterite soil, and then we have arid soil. So these are the major 8 types, 7 to 8 types of soils which are found in India. UPSC has been asking question, or they might ask this question conceptually, that okay, according to area, which soil covers maximum area? So alluvial soil, it covers around 44%. of the area in India. Red and yellow soil, they cover around somewhere 18%. Black soil, they cover somewhere around 15% of the area. But laterite soil, they cover least area. Even you can see on the map, they are they are they are very they are found in a small quantity. So they cover approx 4% of the area, 4.4% of the total area in India. So remember this way, that major soil where they are found, and area wise how much area they cover. Now let's see the uh, another map where we will learn the soil types based on the states which they cover. In this map, you will see that we have taken a political map where the state boundaries are also clearly mentioned along with the soil. So if you take Uttar Pradesh, so in Uttar Pradesh you can see majority of the area is covered by alluvial soil. On the northern margins, or you will find that the forest and mountain type of soil is also found. You take the example of Maharashtra. So here in Maharashtra, you will say that majority of the soil which is found is black soil. Only on the western coast you will find the laterite soil and the red and yellow soil. So sometimes UPSC gives fill in the blank that okay, these are the state, or even in this question which we have taken, that this type of soil is found in Gujarat, Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh. So by seeing this map also you can say that okay, black soil is the soil which is covering the maximum area in Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra and Gujarat. So you should have a broad understanding about the states and the soil which is found in that particular state. Okay. Also, UPSC has this habit of asking the crop types. They associate particular crop type with particular soil. So they give us in match the following, or they will give in the statement that okay, this particular soil is known for which crop type. So I have taken few representatives. For example, let's say this information is there that laterite soil. Laterite soil is suitable for the plantation activities. You take tea, coffee, rubber, or areca nut. It can be associated with the laterite soil. You take red and yellow soil. It is well known for rice and groundnuts. We have black soil. We know it that it is famous for cotton plantation. So this way, if you know few things, then also you can eliminate your option and you can match the following, and you will know that okay, this soil is suitable for what kind of crop. Alluvial soil is suitable for everything. So this is one aspect, soil and crop linkage. Another way which UPSC has been asking is that soil and linkage with a physical feature. This black soil, it is found where? So you will find that in Deccan Tract region, black soils are found. Red and yellow soil, in Peninsular Plateau you will find them. Okay. Laterite soil, on the western Ghats or eastern Ghats, in patches you will find. Alluvial soil, in any river valley or the coastal regions you will find the alluvial soil. Ganga Valley, Brahmaputra Valley. So they will replace the name of the river valley and they will ask you to match. So whatever we have discussed here is, we have taken topic soil, but we have discussed it around the areas, different areas on mainland, the maximum areas covered by alluvial soil or which type of soil. We have discussed it with respect to the state. We have discussed with respect to the physical properties like insectivorous plants or the carnivorous plants, if they are feeding, because the soil profile is not developed. We have discussed its linkage with the of the soil with the crops and soils with the physical features. So like this, UPSC has the habit of asking one information with respect in different format, conceptually or factually. So be very alert. We have discussed it in depth and holistically. If you know these informations, easily you can handle any type of any question based on soil type. Okay. So this is it for today. We will take next other topics in the next video. Thank you.